this is Travel G, and today I have the pleasure of introducing to you Matt Baker. Matt Baker has a couple of YouTube channels, and one of them is how we became acquainted, the Real Matt Baker channel on YouTube. And he does a thing called Project Shoutout, where he does basically like a review or a promo of sorts for small YouTubers and creators that have under 1,000 subscribers. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce Matt Baker, everyone. Matt Baker, everyone. So give him a
How's it
round of
going, guys?
applause.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I'm stumbling,
Thanks.
but
I really appreciate it.
it's been a long day, a long weekend overall. But this is
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on the show, and we're just gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this because this is something a lot of people like need to hear and been looking forward to. So I'm just gonna just get right into it. I got to stop hitting this desk too. But how about so I guess I'll start with Project Shoutout. Could you just give people a little more background on how you came to do Project Shoutout? Because that was,
Uh,
how we linked in. I thought
yeah,
that
yeah,
was really cool.
yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's actually this channel, Matt Baker. That's my name, Matt Baker Channel. Is just something that just popped into my head because I was doing an overnight shift at my job, and I wanted to stay super busy. With me, I can't relax when it comes to especially YouTube. I shoot or edit every single day. And it's mainly because I have six channels now. I just started another one last week, and
Whoa.
now, yeah, and not any of them have more than, well, one channel is a little over 500 subs, but they're all really small. I just want to keep busy, and so by doing that night shift, I thought, well, I'm just going to basically talk about my day, something to that effect, because the main channel, my bread and butter, the one I absolutely know will be successful, is called Leave It to Baker. That's my other channel. And with that channel, I started, honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do on that channel. I started in 2020. And I'll back up here real quick and talk about that channel and how we got into the Matt Baker channel. But so the Leave It to Baker channel, it was probably 2 months before COVID. It was whatever that was, maybe January, February, I think.
Yeah.
And I, for me, YouTube, all I knew, because I had worked in entertainment, I was working at the Writers Guild of America in Los Angeles. And
Nice.
so I knew everything about film and television and contracts and whatnot. But for me, YouTube, all I knew was sports highlights and movie trailers. That's it. And I'm being completely honest because I'm older. I'm in the older age range here.
Me
And
too.
yeah, and so it was on a weekend, and my son was in his room, and I popped in and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go throw a movie on. Do you want to watch something?" He goes, "No, no, I'm watching a YouTuber." And I was like, "What's a YouTuber? What does that mean?" And he's like, "Oh, it's just this guy. He's doing like these kick flips because he was into skateboards." And I was like, "Okay, so what do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, it's just this guy. He's doing like these skate." And I go, "And people watch that?" And he said, "Yeah, there's a lot of people." And I said, "How many? Like 10, 20 people?" No, he's like, "There's a couple thousand that have already seen it." I'm like, "A couple thousand people have watched a guy do
Yeah.
kick flips." And he's like, "Yeah." And I go, "That makes no sense to me." I said, "Who is he?" And I can't remember who it is, but it kind of opened it up for me. And I said, "But I didn't understand anything about YouTube. I really didn't." And he's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, these guys, some of these guys, they have millions of subscribers." And I said, "Millions? How do you get a million subscribers? How many people watch this?" And he goes, "Oh, there's tons." He goes, "Some of these guys, they get ad revenue, they do their own ads, they get tons of money." And I said, wait a minute, back
Yeah.
up. What are you saying?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Some of the," and here's my son telling me this stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, they do really well." And so, needless to say, he watched his YouTuber and I watched a movie. But then on that Monday, I went into work, and I had some free time, and I got on and I typed in, "How do you succeed on YouTube?" Because I had no idea. And so there was a content creator that I had never heard of. It was a guy that does sports, or not sports cars, but exotic cars.
Nice.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And he had, I think, 3 million subscribers. I thought, how
Whoa.
do you get that many subscribers? And so somebody, like a fan, had made a video of his channel and how he succeeded. And I thought, damn, good for you, bro. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing how you can do that just from starting out by taking video of supercars, and then all of a sudden you start gaining an audience. And that clicked, and I was like, well, I could probably do something like that. I've got a family. And I started looking up, family vloggers. And I saw there were some very successful family vloggers. And I thought, well, okay, maybe I'll do that. And I started filming, it was probably right before COVID. I started filming myself talking, just telling some quick stories about myself and my upbringing and where I came from. Um, and then I would include my daughter in some of them, and my wife, who just never wanted to be on camera.
Yeah.
And I just continued. I continued with that, not giving up. And then the next thing I know, with my job, we were on a hiatus for so long because of COVID that,
Yeah.
as it turns out, the whole summer went by, and I was still filming stuff, but I didn't know what I wanted to film. And my job at, let's see, this was March when they told us to go home. So it was about this time. It was like I think the last week of August, first week of September, where they said, "Hey, we can't thank you enough for all your, service with us, 16 years, whatever. We can't keep everybody with our budget. We're going to have to let you go, but we'll give you a severance." And so I looked at my wife and I said, "Do you want to leave LA?" And she said, "Yes." So we moved to Colorado,
Perfect
just
timing.
on a whim, man. And it was great. However, it doesn't have the same vibe as LA, number one, but also the entertainment aspect of it. I had no idea what I wanted to film for YouTube. No idea. And it was my sister, because I was looking for work and I needed something on the side. So I was doing deliveries for like Uber Eats, right?
Yeah.
And she said, "Hey, why don't you just film your drop offs? Make it like a little movie or something, because you're dropping off for people." And I thought, no, that's not a bad idea. I'll do that. So I
Yeah.
started looking at people, on YouTube, and people that deliver. And I thought, hey, I could do something like that too. So I started making little like music videos. So I made the shorts because the shorts had just come into play.
Yeah.
And so I started making these shorts with music attached to them to make them like little music videos under 60 seconds. And I gained a lot of, well, not a lot of subscribers, but I gained a lot of subscribers because of it, because they liked that aspect of it. Because when I was in LA, I was into filmmaking. I'd done some acting. I did some directing, some writing of my own short films. I sent a couple off to film festivals. One of them did accept it. I didn't win, but it was, at least it was at a film festival. And I thought, I
Nice.
do have some editing skills. Why don't I just do that? So
Yeah.
I kept doing that. And as it turns out, that was great, and everybody liked some of the series that I was doing. I did one which was, what was that called? Elizabeth. It was Wingstop Wednesday. It was Wingstop Wednesday, where I'd go to Wingstop and I tried all their chicken sandwiches on Wednesdays, and I did a
Nice.
review. And people loved them, and I thought, okay, well, this is fun. And I kept doing that, but everybody's like, hey, don't stop doing that. But there were so many food review guys, you know what I mean? It's like, I
Yeah.
just, I didn't want to go down that same path. They're just, for me, mentally thinking into the future, I'm thinking, okay, so you can only do so many of this genre or this genre. You can only do so many of them to eventually either burn out, because I watched a lot of videos of guys that got burnt out,
Yeah.
or they just didn't know where to go anymore. They lost that flame. You know what
Didn't
I
know
mean?
how to pivot. Yeah.
Right. And so I actually had a dream, and most of my ideas, believe it or not, it came to me in dreams. So I dreamt that I was interviewing Casey Neistat. You know who Casey Neistat is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a dream that I was interviewing him, and I thought, why would I do that? Well, subconsciously, my dad was in radio and television for 45 years, and
Wow.
he interviewed everybody. for his job. He interviewed Dolly Parton, Black Panther members, um, RFK before he was killed, believe it or not. So
Wow.
he interviewed a lot of people, and my dad's passed away now. And I thought, why don't I do something like that? Why don't I interview people and ask them kind of how they succeed on their channel? What did you do to succeed? What do you shoot on? What do you edit on? Tell us about your channel. And I started that and I called it Behind the Vlog. The problem is to try to reach out to a lot of content creators that are of larger content. If you send something on Instagram, they're not going to see it because they're not your friend.
Yeah.
So I think with Instagram, you have to be friends first for them to receive it.
Yeah, it goes
Um,
to one of those junk folders, so they might not see it till months later or something.
yeah, so I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll just leave comments on their newest vlogs that they release. So I did that. Well, if you're big enough, you have moderators, and they scrub it. Like I would leave a message. Hey, my name's Matt. I got a channel. Leave it to Baker. Let's if you're interested, let's do a behind the vlog series that I have. I'd really love to just get to know who you are and whatnot.
Yeah.
And maybe 20 minutes later, I go to check it, gone, absolutely gone. So it's frustrating at that point. And when I started working the night shift, I was like, well, as I keep trying to reach out to these folks and I can't get a hold of people, maybe what I'll do is I'll start this channel, talk a little bit about my day, and then maybe do this thing called Project Shoutout, where I go behind the scenes without actually having to contact someone. I just find their channel, I grab it and say, hey guys, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at Travel Guru VT, and we're gonna,
Yeah.
see what kind of content they have, and we're going to look at this guy and this guy and this guy. We're going to see what they have. Go ahead and subscribe. Let's give them a like. And granted, I don't have a lot of subscribers on that channel, but it made me think this is another way that I could reach out, because if this channel grows, then people like yourself that like that content will say, hey, let's do a behind the vlog on your other channel.
Yeah.
So sorry, that was long. I
No,
know, but
that's great. Those are a dope concept as well. Like,
yeah,
because it serves, the people that you're reviewing. It helps, your project shout out channel and your other channel as well. So it's trifold for everyone. Like that's
yeah,
perfect.
yep.
That is
And I
awesome.
I do have visions of that channel and both just expanding, because I look at it this way: there is always going to be new content creators. In fact, that's my little tagline at the end. Hey guys, there are millions of content creators, and we're going to try to meet them all.
Yeah.
And so there's for all we know, there could be a brand new content creator that just started today. So there's always going to be new ones, and that will go on forever. And then when I get too old to do this, that's why I say my daughter is sitting over there. She's shaking her head. That's why I say I think she should take over, when she
Yeah,
gets old enough, and keep it a
definitely.
family thing. So,
Yeah. Tell her to keep it going.
yeah.
What type of advice would you give to, people that are starting the journey or people that want to start the journey that haven't yet?
Well, and from other content creators that I've seen, first of all, if you just have a phone or even just a small camera, just shoot, just do it. And I love that theory of that is just, because a lot of us have this hang up, oh my gosh, it's not going to look great. People are going to, say, oh, you're worthless. Don't even bother being on YouTube. And you know what? I get it. People are going to say, hey, your stuff's not great. But if you just keep going,
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. And that's why what I was saying, I'm literally shooting and editing almost every single day, because on one of my other channels, I'll plug that. It's called Home Run Baker. um,
Perfect.
I, from the very beginning of the baseball season to the very end, Topps Baseball Cards has it's almost like a news story card that they put out online every day. And so you can get online to tops.com, you can take a look at it and say, oh, this is what happened yesterday. Aaron Judge had, passed Joe DiMaggio on home runs, and they made a card for that. Well, I go through my little spiel. I write down, in fact, I got it here. I write down a script every day of all the cards that they're releasing, and then I make a short on it. And I'm glad that they make those shorts longer than 59, 60 seconds because
Yeah.
sometimes, like for instance, today there are 10 cards. There's no way I can do 10 cards today. I still haven't made it yet, but I couldn't make 10 cards in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think they give you 3 minutes.
impossible.
Yeah. And so I do that every single day. And then I come to find out they're going to be making football stuff in 2026. So that's going to have to be another channel that I start. I'm insane, man. I'm telling you.
You got
I
the
just love it
energy.
though. I really do. I love it. And I love keep making new stuff all the time.
Awesome.
So
So how many channels do you have total now? Because I thought you just had the two, but
no, I've got six. One of them is my daughter's that I was shooting and doing the editing for her. But it was just she says like, Daddy, I don't want to be on it anymore. So this is just a small channel that she had. But so I've got Home Run Baker, the one that I do throughout the season.
all right.
In fact, they release cards on Wednesdays also. So I'm all season long. I'm making stuff. Um, then I've got the Leave It to Baker. I've got Matt Baker, which is the project shout out that we're talking about. I've got a Leave It to Baker BTS, which is a behind the scenes of me making. So it's a behind the scenes of a behind the scenes, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
that makes
I
total
just bring,
sense.
I don't know if I have it. Sometimes I just shoot on my phone, um, but I also have a like a little GoPro, and I'll set it up in a corner someplace, and then just film myself making the vlog, if that
Nice.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the BTS one. Um, and that one I just do for fun anyway. It's just like, well, if I've got an extra camera, I'll just set it
Yeah.
up and
Just
I'll
use
post
it.
it. I don't care what it looks like.
That's extra
I'll put it up.
footage. Yeah.
Yeah. And then let me see, the Matt Baker, Leave It to Baker, Leave It to Baker, BTS, the Home Run Baker, and my daughter's. Oh, yeah. And the new one that I just started. So I have no content and no subscribers, and that's fine. This came to me in a dream. Um, Now, I'm older, and so I remember cassette tapes.
Yeah. Me
And
too.
I know that cassette tapes are making a comeback. Some people are starting. Obviously, the vinyl made a comeback, and now cassette tapes are starting to make a comeback. So I have been trying to find a really good boombox, like a vintage boombox, and I had a couple at my sister's place in Texas, but she did not take care of those, and none of the tapes that I put in played at all. So I said, okay, well, I'll have to find something else. I went onto Facebook Marketplace. There was a guy I was supposed to meet up with. He flaked on me. Another guy I met up with. He had a
No.
great 1979 Sanyo. It's got one speaker. It's in perfect condition. And so I bought it from him. And what I'm going to do is I'll film probably on Mondays. I'll release a vlog on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And what I'm going to do, that's going to be faceless. I'm not going to show my face. Excuse me. I'm just going to promote a tape, and I'm going to say, hey guys, so this is my channel. And I've learned that I have to claim that it is for educational purposes only because I know that it would be copyright material because
Yeah.
it's music. But I've kind of got a way around that. So I've looked at other channels so if you go to YouTube, for instance, and you see, let's say, there's an album that you're interested in listening to on YouTube, yet they're able to play it on YouTube and it hasn't been brought down. And I thought, okay, so I would email or I would send a message and say, hey, how is it you get around this stuff? And they say, oh, it's just, for educational purposes or only. And I said, okay, then maybe I'll try that. Now, this cassette, you're not going to get, high quality sound. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that memory of maybe sitting on a beach in the 80s or even the 70s when you were a kid and
Yeah.
you're listening to the radio. And so I've been purchasing all these cassette tapes, and I'm going to be playing those on this and just kind of do a little, hey guys, what do you remember about this album? Me personally, like for instance, I think one of the first ones is Michael Jackson, the Thriller cassette tape from 1984. I remember where I was the first time I heard it. And so I want to tell a little
Classic.
story about how I remember that. And I want you to tell me a story. Where were you? What do you remember about this? Were you too young? If you were, then when did you first hear this album? And just get people's comments. And I think what I want to do is probably set up a PO box, and if people are interested in maybe either donating a tape or I can mail it back, but play something and do a shout out. Hey, Andre
Yeah,
sent me a cassette tape, and it's this one, and if we're gonna play this for him today,
that would be
and
dope.
just yeah, I think that that's kind of a fun idea. Maybe I can make some merch for it. So that way I can make some money from the channel,
Yeah.
but
You
I don't
heard it
know
here
yet.
first,
It's still
folks.
it's still up in the air, but it's called Vintage Cassette Dude. Don't go subscribing just yet because I don't want any subscribers until I get some material up.
Be on the lookout for that, folks. I
Yeah.
hate to say this, but we are running out of time.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, Zoom, they
I
they make these meetings short, but the show is taking off, so we're gonna upgrade to pro. We're gonna keep this going for future episodes. We're gonna upgrade to pro so we can have longer episodes. But Matt, I want to thank you for coming on, and
you. I
Matt's gonna email me that list of all his channels so we can put them in the description box with this episode. You guys go ahead and check him out, subscribe to all his channels, and if you want your small channel with under 1,000 subs to be featured on his Project Shoutout channel, hit him up, send him a message, leave him a comment on one of his videos on the Project Shoutout channel, and subscribe, and he will do your channel, give you a review. But
Yeah.
once
Thank you.
again, thank you. I really appreciate it. I know we pulled this together like super last minute, but we definitely have to do this again once I upgrade. I tried to do this during the episode, but I think I've got too much open on my computer right now, so it's not going to let me upgrade in the middle of this episode. But
Wanted to talk travel too, man.
yes, we got a minute left. We're gonna squeeze that in. What is your
Okay.
favorite place that you've been to and your bucket list destination that you haven't been to yet?
Favorite place I've been to, two different places. One is Egypt, and the second one is Italy. I've been to Italy a
Nice.
couple different times. I love both places. Bucket list, I still haven't been to Asia. I'd like to try Japan, China, Singapore, any one of those places. It's on my bucket list. Haven't done it yet, but been to a lot
Awesome.
of places. Been to a lot of places.
Awesome. We're definitely gonna have to have Matt back on the show once we upgrade, guys. But this is Travel G, and this is the Travel G podcast. We'll be back soon. We're out.